hold on. Oh, okay. This is the Bluetti AC200MAX. And I'm not saying it's heavy, but mine arrived on a pallet, and I don't know how it goes in your country or wherever you are for couriers, delivery men lifting things, but they're not supposed to lift more than 30 kilos by themselves, hence this came in a pallet. I'll be honest, I was trying to take it apart outside to just bring it in as a oneie, but it ended up just being easier to bring it in the box. So, come on in. Come in a bit. I apologise for the wind. It's Scotland, it's stormy, it's a bit wild outside. Whew. Right, let's see if we can take it out of the box. I reckon. First of all, what's in the top? This is going to be an instruction manual, warranty card, or all of the above. It is an destruction booklet. That appears to be instructions in various languages. Then we have a bag, and in the said bag they were contained a big selection of plugs, and ooh, I've not had one of them in a long time. Oh yes. Oh, those XT90s. They look like XT90 connectors on there. They're huge. So I've got a mains plug to... Oh, we'll need to unwrap it. Hold on. Let's make this make sense. Nice little grippy thing for keeping the cables together. We've got a 12 volt cigarette lighter socket to an XT90. We have got a MC4, is that MC4? MC4 solar panel connections to XT90. We have got an XT90 going the other way to a as unknown ubiquitous plug. I remember having these as like a waterproof 12 volt connector. I had one of them on my Isuzu Trooper, and it was connected to the 12 volt water heater for heating the engine up. And then we have a 240 volt fused main socket to an IEC plug at the other end. Oh look people, mains on IEC. Who'd have thought that was a thing? Then a power brick. A power brick? A power brick? What year is this? A giant power brick. Surely. Sure we have for 58.8 LiFePO4 battery charger. Outputs 58.8 volts at 7 amps. No, surely not. IEC plug at one end and a big barrel connector at the other end. Surely this doesn't charge off of a giant power brick and not straight off the mains. Really? Really? Is that what we're doing? Is that how we're going here? I mean, it's 2023, right? This is still 2023. Okay, we are now at the lifting out of the box, trying to not kick the camera over and trying to get the other box on the floor time. Right, let's go! Yeah. Go on, let go. Take the bag with you. No, please. Please take the bag. No, it's not taking the bag. Get off. Thanks. Love you too. Whew. So, as I said, Bluetti AC200MAX, battery capacity 2048 watt hours, and it has an output of 2200 watts and 4000 odds on a peak. This rubber feet are stuck to the table. Well, the first thing I've noticed is it's got two wireless chargers on the top. Right, this is the input side. I can't even tip it up. Come on. So we've got a battery extension port, one battery extension port. We have another battery extension port. We have a DC input from 10 to 145 volts, which is that blue plug that we saw, which is that blue plug with the XT90 connector on it. So that goes in there and that gets you input from 10 to 145 volts DC. So that'll basically all your solar panels. And then yeah, for charging the batteries on the inside, it is a barrel plug and a power supply and not just a mains connector. That's weird. That is weird. And on this side we have mains, UK mains plugs. Oh good, they've made some of them upside down, some of them right way up, so you don't dangle your cords over each other, so you can plug them all in, and nice little rubbery things. We've got 12 volt 10 amp output, and we've also got a 12 volt DC 30 amp output. That means that also connects into there as well. Ah, so we can have 30 amps out over XT90. So if we, for our other project that we're doing, which is making the diesel heaters have XT60 connectors, we could do a 60 to 90 converter and then have it run off the 30 amp output. That's nice, I'll give it that. What else have we got here? We've got those weird 12 volt 10 amp DC barrel connectors for output into, I don't know what, because I've still to find something that has that barrel connector and be able to use it. Is that one or two? One USB 100 watts. USB A's. USB, more USB A's. Okay. What a mixed bag of technology here. Weird. That's not on. Ooh, it's got a physical on-off button. Oh, and an LCD screen. Oh, quick, come in. Ooh, it's actually got. Are you touchscreen? It's touchscreen. Ooh. That's odd. English, 50 Hz, DC input source. Okay, okay, touch sound on or off, right, great. Oh, what else we got? Bluetooth, buzzer, backlight brightness, sleep timer. Okay, for restore factory settings to USA, great. That's not really. The touch thing is very, very sensitive. The one battery that's attached at the moment is fine. So we can attach up to 2 other batteries, as seen by the 2 battery things. No alarms, no errors. That was it for the settings. Okay. Wow. That's definitely not the right time, but ooh, there's, oh, I like when I see data. This was one of the things I asked for in like the other power station, if they could just make it show more information. That touch screen is very, very, very sensitive. Okie dokie. And an actual on-off button. It's an actual physical button. Granted, it just tells it to shut down inside, but yeah, that's weird. Okay, so far we've got a complete mix of generations of technology. We're using the world's largest power brick that I have ever had in my hands to charge the inside batteries, and not just have this built inside there somewhere, so you can just plug in the mains connector into it and charge at full power. That means that's going to take a while to charge over mains, because it's not doing the thing where it does the super fast charge at 3 kilowatts. It's not going to super fast charge like that. But it does appear to have been designed to charge more via solar panels than over mains. So more designed to be absolutely off grid that way. let's say we're mixing things. We've got 2 wireless chargers on it. We've got 1 USB-C and more USB-As, which is weird because basically almost everything now that it's 2023 and the EU has forced Apple to use USB-C, or pretty much everything from now on for everything that's ever made will be USB-C to accommodate Apple in this. And we've got, this is one you can stack batteries on and add battery things to, so it's really designed to be off-grid. It's supposed to be charged by solar more than mains. I think I've already said that. Well, seen its outsides. Let me get ready and then we will go and look at its insides. Right, let's take it apart. I have my stabber here because there's like 2 sets of screws that I can see so far on the top of this. Oh, let's try not to lose any of these. There's hex head long bolts that I expect to go all the way through to the floor. And there's Phillips screws just in there, and I'm not sure where they're going. Did I mention this was really heavy? It is really, really heavy. Ah, okay, so there's only 2 on the front there for the Phillips. Everything else is these big hex head screws. 4s or 5s? 4s? 4s indeed. How tight they are. Not particularly tight. As I said, I expect these to be the full length of the unit. Because I like it when they do it like that, they make it like 2 halves. There's a top and a bottom, and you can just lift the whole top assembly off. So, they are big long bolts that go all the way through. Nice. 4 of them. Now, that should release something. Oh, I've missed one. Right. So, the Phillips screws must hold on the top cover. The big long ones go through the handles. There's aluminium inset inside the handles. And that must go there, under these. Does that now allow the top to come off? Yes, yes it does. Like that. And then we'll just have to unplug the 2 wireless chargers. Oh. Which don't, of course, unplug at the wireless charger end. They unplug on the inside. Why? Why would you do this? Why? Why? They're right next to each other and they're stuck on the board. Now this is already warm. We've only run it for a few seconds. Come on. 1, 2. Right. Here we have the wireless charging head. I'm trying not to turn it upside down because I've left the screws inside and I don't want to tip them out, but they are identical wireless charging modules. Made in 2020, 2506-2020, 2506-2020, and they are version 4 of whatever they are. I do not see any manufacturer's names on the boards. Right, let's set that. Yeah, right, come in. Right, is this going to be one of the ones where the front panel comes off? Right, I'm going to dig around in here for a little bit and then bring you back once I've worked out how to get it apart. On the base, well, on the side of the base, going up the way, there's 4 screw holes hidden by the plastic covers again. So I'm going to take them off and then hopefully that'll let the top part or the bottom part come apart. Something's definitely going to come apart soon. I promise. Well, as I lifted it from the lying in its side position to nearly going onto its base, all the side panels started to come off. Once I took those screws out. I'm also still trying not to lose them. These rubber feet are really, really grippy. That was just my bit of foam I was using to. Right, so all of these panels should now be loose. I'll be back again. Okay, I did get the front panel to come off, and it was this ribbon cable here that was annoying me. This ribbon cable. It goes onto that ribbon bit there. I thought it was one of the ones that slide up or undo, but it literally just pushes into place. That was just, the ribbon cable wasn't behind that, so I undid it. They just hang open that way to let go. Undid 2 DC connectors off the board there, and that was the other DC connector on the big long plug, that one. And that's just the mains plugs that for the assembled mains, which have all got earth pins joined to each other. Earth, 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 and then into an earth there. And we'll go and follow where the earth goes eventually and do a continuity test, even though it's a plastic body, so it's not really going too far. And annoying, oh no, wait, it is on a, that's the switch, which has got 4, that means it's like a 2-pole switch, or it's got lots of other, anyway, it's got 4 wires, 2 blues, a black and a red, and it goes on a multi-plug under there, so I need to get under there to unplug it to get it to come off. But there are some big XT90 connectors there going onto the board and all the way around. I imagine it goes down the back to the battery connections back there for connecting. Right, well, okay, let's go see what else we can see in here. And this little board on the top, I wonder what it is. Is it going to be a BMS? Maybe? Maybe? Maybe not. Right, how much further do I need to go? What does to come off to get in further? I'd really like to get in to see the cells. Oh, I can see the top of them. Right, so there's see that might just be the whole controller board for the actual everything, because it's got a battery in it, which means it's got the ability to save the clock. So once you've set the timer, set the time on the real, you know, on the controller for the whole thing, that's probably the board for it, controlling the rest of. And I dropped that screw away and down inside. Marvellous. Okay. There's my screw. Bye. Oh. Ooh. Oh, little resistors in the back there. Weird. There's a lot of components in the back. Strange. 15 amp fuses, 15 amp fuse, resistors, and as I said, a whole lot of other capacitors and voltage regulators and MOSFETs. They're branded, they're IRFs, they're international regulator. Of toroidals on the inside. This is heavy, by the way. These aluminium heat sinks, these are heavy. And I can see 2 transformers on the inside. Yep, 2 transformers. Whew, that's a weighty box. Right, now set it somewhere safe. Give me one of these foam pads. Come over here, sit behind me. Sit there. There, lovely. Nice and safe. Right, well, that means that the next stage is getting down into the batteries, and that appears to be easier said than done. Did this not want to fall apart a minute ago when I was taking it off? Or was it just the front that wanted to fall off? How is everything else attached? What is holding it all together? There's a nice big board in there to see. I'll be back. Well, it turns out I just wasn't actually pulling hard enough. Now, the only bits that I can see I need to worry about are these 2 connections here, and they say CAN on the board. I presume they're going to be the 2 connections to the external battery ports. But lifting this up lets you maneuver. I could maneuver that back a bit and I could unplug them. Ooh, right, they're unplugged. If I lift this off, all the plugs will fall through and who knows how I'll get them back. That seems like a problem for future me. Nice! Ta-da! So, in there is just the connections to the external batteries, the 12 volts, and what is this little one here? Oh, it's the power. I got an LED. No. Weird, it's counting that. It's labelled on there. That's the adapter, but it's labelled on there as PV. Okay. Weird. Weird. Lots of weird things in this, right? Plastic body, go and use it somewhere safe as well. Ah, well, at least I don't have to poke all those wires up and through. I just have to poke these wires through the hole. That's not so bad. And here we have the battery pack. 50 watt, 20 RG. Is that just a resistor? That giant ceramic resistor there, do you think they're using that for load sensing? Look at the size of those battery terminals. Wow, wee wah. Aha! You can see the cells on the other side. Hold on. Let me move my screwdrivers out of the way. Oh, my goodness, this. All the weight is in this. Oh, here we are. They are teal coloured cells. Guarantee I can't get a full name off any of them. EUPS. They are 3.2 volts, 12.8 watt-hours each. And there I have no idea how many cells there are. They are arranged in a staggered pattern to maximise cell density. So they're not rows. They're like rows that way, so they're all intermingled to be much tightness and much packing. Hence, it's very, very heavily dense. There's another screw. That is the 4th screw. Splendid. I haven't lost any now. So far, so good. Right. I'm curious to get a multimeter on this. It says 58 volts. What do we get? Can I have DC, please? DC. So you're there. Negative. Positive. We have 52.6 volts. And display before said they were 60% charged, so I presume that's about right. What's this? 52.6. 2.7. That fuse. That is a giant fuse in there. There is a 150 amp fuse right there. Not exactly a convenient location, is it? You'd really have you would have to dig your way all the way down there to get into that, but that's answer my own question. That is definitely the battery management board right there. So does that mean each of these has got 56? Ah, this is off the BMS, so that's got 1.6 volts as the output just now. It's obviously the BMS is holding the batteries off, and that has 1.6 volts as well. So it literally will not do anything until the battery management's told to turn on. Wow, that's impressive. That is a lot of cells. I can't stress how heavy enough that is. It's got a date on the side, 1904-2022. So it's not really that old. I'm sorry, I still find it weird that we've got a giant transformer to charge all of these batteries and not just have that built in. And again, it would make it bigger, but I'd also rather just carry one of them and an IEC plug that I can get anywhere rather than have a charger. Where are you going to get a 50 volt? No, never mind. It's fine. I'm sure they've got a good reason. So who makes teal cells? What's EUPS? I know I can't get enough of the numbers on them to read the full number off the side of it. What kind of plastic is this? Does it say? Doesn't say on it. But it's strong. It's very strong. Well, what I'm going to do now is attempt to put it all back together, and then we'll do some testing and some real world tests. Right, I thought I might do a little bit of real world testing while we're testing things. I'm kind of running out of, well, no, I've literally run out of things resistive and otherwise to power off of it, so I'm just going to start finding things to plug in. So what I've got is a horrible 500 watt plug-in heater, another different brand and dead power supply, power station that needs charged, and a little grinder, bench grinder here, which I suppose that counts as an inductive load, doesn't it? I better unwind this, because knowing me, I will absolutely grind right through the mains wire, won't I? Of course I will. So I'll put that round the back that way, and plug it, no, around the middle, go around that way, and plug it upside down in there. Right, I've still got the lid off just now because we've got the 2G thermal imaging camera. I'm going to point it in there and see if anything heats up while it's running. Right, this is initializing, so let us turn on AC. AC on. Okay. So, what happened there was it tripped out, which means I wonder if the big power thing just took all of the current. Right, is this turned on? That's not even turned on yet. So, what happened? It must have been the big power supply. Right, actually, no, let's just take the alarm. What happened? No alarms. It never even got that far. Go on then, AC on. AC on, 53, 72. Okay, and now the wattage is climbing, 300. Now the fan here was never on. Right, I'm going to turn on the 2G to record video. Video. Begin capture. Right, so that'll... the 2G phone's using its feature where it mixes the thermal imaging image and the camera image, but doesn't do the weird outline thing. It just blends the two images together. So you're getting a much more realistic, there's my hand, shot for comparison. Right, let me check what the big power thing is doing for input. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get in your way. I apologise. It's currently charging at 240 watts. That's because it's flat. So I'm going to give this a few hours. Or maybe a little while. See if that battery will come up to charging at full power. And then I'll bring you back. Actually, no. Actually, that's a lot. Let's just turn things on. Let's turn on the little heater. So that one's on, that one's on. So we've got 1000 watts. Let's turn on the grinder thing. Go on in. That spins as well. That spins nice. That's the one I use for sharpening my tungstens for the TIG welder. That's all it does. Oh, it's currently also charging the battery as well from the wall, so will I get it to stop? Nah, let's just see how it all does, because we've got it charging and discharging at the same time. What data can it tell us? Let's see. Data. Charging. AC output. So it's currently outputting 800 watts. I wonder if the first time it did it, it was the capacitors in that doing a dead short basically. And then the AC charger is currently inputting 380 watts. Output 800 watts. Okay, so I'm going to let that run for a little while. See if it gets hot. I can see things warming up. I might just turn this image over a bit so the hottest thing is not the fan in the shot. Yeah, that's better. Set it down, all that. That's better. So the circuit board's in shot now. Oh, right, let's leave it at that. I might turn this off because it's noisy. Right, I'll bring you back in a little while once the power station has started to take on more current. Okie dokie, we have just kicked into charging with 2.1 kilowatts of input or output power, sorry. Power going from the Bluetti into the power station. It's now charging at 2000 watts. And it would be charged in just under an hour. So now this should be getting hot. All the fans are on, blowing through the thing. See, it's getting hot down that side. That's out, so this hot spot that you can see over here, there's my finger, down there, that's outside the actual cooled channel. That's nearly 50 degrees on the outside uncooled. It's a relay by the looks of it. Is it the relay or is it the capacitors? No, not the capacitors. You can see the capacitors in the picture. The capacitors are, these ones don't touch them too closely. So there's three capacitors there, and then what appears to be a white relay that's getting hot. I can take this out just now. I don't need this deathly heater even remotely plugged in. So we're basically running at capacity just now. AC output 2138 watts at 230 volts and 50 hertz. And no, that's a solar charger. And the input from the outside charger is 361 watts and 50.2 volts. Basically, I just want to see if we can... You know what's missing off this? Our runtime. It is just showing the battery percentage. There's no actual time till flat. Well, that's slightly disappointing. No, it's just basically time till flat. Rather lack of a time till flat. It's just the battery percentage. Well, that's a missing piece of data I would have rather have had than anything else. I mean, I know it's more or less a 2000 watt hour battery run at 2000 watts, so it'll last an hour, but the fact that it doesn't tell you that is rather annoying. Not annoying, I'm not annoyed, not. Yes. No AC runtimes, and I don't have anything at the moment ready to plug in to test. Could test a diesel heater. I'm going to make up a 12 volt plug and try one of the diesel heaters plugged in once I've got this hot. Well, it's kind of leveled out at 50 degrees. the batteries. It's warmish air that's coming out, warmish. And it is charging my other power station. Why the other power station's flat, I don't know. It shouldn't be. It's been sitting there doing nothing, as in not plugged in or doing anything. I know they do self-discharge over time, but I've literally had Jackeries sitting for years now and their charge has only dropped ever so slightly. That was flat. I'll not mention the brand, but you can work it out for yourselves. Right, so I'm going to take the Doji out its holder, if I can, if my brain can let me. Come on. Come on. Right. Let me just switch you back to... Nope, not that one. Just pure infrared mode. Or does mix? How much mix is mix? So yeah, that hot spot right there, that is a really... That's 54 degrees. It's a low voltage really. What we got, I'm reading things on it, it's 15 amps at 48 volts DC or 10 amps at 60 volts DC. 15 amps, 48 volt DC or 13 amps at 54 volts DC. I wonder if that is the charging relay. So let's test this theory by turning the charging relay. I want to see if the temperature of this relay drops. I heard it click. It certainly is. Okay, so that is the relay that connects the transformer out here, the big 58 volt transformer, to the inside. The temperature is coming down. Oh, is it hot? Can't tell. My fingertips from years of baking are now numb. But nothing else appears to be particularly... Let's just put... There we are in infrared. Can't really see down into the cells, but nothing down in there is warm. That wire is definitely warm. Yeah, that wire's carrying load. Jeez. I mean, they're all like 30 degrees. There's nothing particularly hot down there. There's like one really hot chip in that board. Well, not really hot chip, it's like 30 degrees. Ooh, there's some hot boys down there. Remember, all of these hot bits on the outside world, on these outside bits of the board, they don't have cooling fans. There is no cooling fans for this bit. The cooling fan only does this inside channel. This plastic membrane is not permeable by infrared. Look, if you peer down the, in the fan hole or down that slot, you can see inside. But the infrared, choose the other way. Most plastics are completely transparent infrared, but that one is different. Well, that's taking that down to 78%. Okay, this can only go well. Ooh! An interesting thing I've found, this does not charge unless it's turned on. If I turn this off, the power from the wall charger stops flowing into it, turns the relay off inside and stops charging entirely. So you can't plug it in and just have it like sit quietly in the background. No, you have to turn it on and have it be actually doing something, because as soon as you turn it off, it stops charging. There's the click from the thing. Power meter goes to, any second now, 1 watt. It's just the transformer doing nothing in the background. It doesn't charge unless it's turned on. I find that is strange. That is an unusual. Usually you can just have them plugged in the background doing things. Anyway, got a diesel heater. Got it horrendously attached to a 12-volt cigarette lighter. Because, okay, this is here. So this 12-volt 30 amp thing, they don't give you any sort of plug to plug into. I thought it was this blue one that you could use for various things, but it's the same gender, obviously, as that one. It can only go in the other side for input. You can't use for output. So I think what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to cut a hole about there and put on one of these panel mount XT60 sockets about there. Because on the inside, that plug is this XT60 socket on the inside. It's just that one. So I can make a wire from in there to in there, XT60 on that end, plug it in, and then I can just plug that straight in the board and have that plugged in to that socket and get 30 amps out of it and not worry about that one. But that's a job for another day, putting that wee socket just about there, plug it inside, and then should I ever find out what that connector is, I can always swap it back if need be. But I digress. Let us then plug in the diesel heater and turn the DC on. DC on. The light is on. I'm just going to presume the heater display's lit up because it's not facing that direction. It is. Now, can we use the remote control to turn it on? Anything? Nothing. Do you have to press and hold? Yes. Press and hold. Oh, DC output, 100 watts. Well, the diesel heater's making noises. Data? Inverter charger info, DC output. So we're currently outputting 100 watts on the 12-volt plug. It appears that it can output it the 30 amps as well as the 10 amps. That would be interesting. But if this starts and runs, that'll be good enough. Granted, we're only using a short wire. Let's fire up the old doogie here and see if the cables are getting hot or not, or what. Come on, you. Go. Video. It doesn't look like it's particularly warm. Let's do overlay. Well, there she goes. Diesel heating. It never got above 100 watts. Output voltage 13.5 volts. And my diesel heater is diesel heating. See if it gets a difference once it speeds up a little bit. The exhaust is definitely vented in here at the moment. $110 watts. Oh. Just wait for the glow plug to go out now. Come on now. You must be lit. Still doing it. Nothing's got fire. Good, good. This is a really long glow plug cycle. I like the output voltage is 13.5 volts and it's just rock solid staying there. Wait, where's my meter? Is it actually 13.5? My meter says 13.1. Why does this still say it's 100 watt output? Surely that glow plug's gone off by now. There it goes. Wow, that was a really long glow time. Right, now it's doing 13.5 volts and sitting at 12 watts. I don't know what heater power is this set, if it's like a maximum, minimum. Oh, it's set to halfway. No, full power. Oh, it's set to temperature. Let's... Right, now it's doing a full power. Even at that, 30 watts. But with no runtime on the display, you won't know how long that's going to run for. Are we still holding? Yeah, 13.3. Okay. Now I'll turn off, bring the glow plug back on. It's nice that it hasn't tripped the 12 volts 10 amps, even though it's obviously just keeping it at 10 amps. It's locked to you're getting 10 amps and no more. Does it pull the voltage down at all? No. Still doesn't go any less than 13 volts, 110 watts. Runs a glow plug for a really short length of time on finish and a really long time on startup. Okay. Right, I'm going to let that cool down. Well, that was the Bluetti AC200MAX, something, wait a minute, let me get the name at least right. The AC200MAX. I still think it's a mixed bag. It's a weird, it's not, well, it's weird. It's weird to me. It's weird to me they would still have a giant power supply for the charging and not just have a mains cable for the pure charging input. But that does make me think that it is more designed for absolute off-grid. The fact that it's got such a wide range of DC inputs. What is it? Where is the thing? All the way from 10 volts to 145 volts DC. Basically, quite a large solar panel bank size. That's like nearly 3 or 4 full-size solar panels, more or less. Depends which way you wire them, of course, obviously. But like that, the power supply thing, 2 wireless chargers, and yeah, and only 1 single USB-C, but still lots of normal USBs. Whereas, I don't know, the 30 amp output would have been nice if that had just been an XT90 as well. That would have made a lot more sense and a lot easier. But the other thing I'm glad is they've done some of the plugs upside down so they don't interfere with each other. The rubbery things can get in the way a little bit, but you could probably just pull them off and like 3-4 screws takes the top off if you really need to put them back on. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice unit. We've had it apart. Oh, that was the thing I realised when I was putting it back together. If you did have to get down into the batteries, you don't have to take off all the other bits, like that other board I took out. You don't have to do that. If you just unplug everything and then jostle it apart, that whole thing inside just lifts straight out over the top of the batteries. The frame like separates and comes away around. So you don't have to take off all the bits on the board. You don't have to get into the screws that are inside the middle of it. You can just unplug it all and just lift it all away from the batteries. Should you ever have to get into the main fuses that are on the battery board on the BMS side. I realised that when I was putting it back together, I didn't actually have to take out that other board at all. You could have just taken it out in a one-y. I'm going to make a separate video of me testing, doing things with it, because I want to see if this will run the welder as well. I know it runs a diesel here, but I want to see if it runs a welder and a grinder and all sorts of things, so I can take it to track days as well and use this for powering things should I need to at the side of the track should we break, or rather when we break, one of the track cards. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please leave them down below. I will try my very best to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.